Following program is produced by Project Bait and does not reflect the views of this station.
Well, by now, many of you have heard about the travails of Sam Riddle, political consultant, and once host here on Project Bait on For My People. Well, it raises a lot of questions, not just about the headlines, but about Sam Riddle in the context of our community. Sam Riddle in relationship to personal and interpersonal relations. David Rambeau takes a look at that, and we'll talk about this on this Project Bait news analysis.
You know, Sam and I go back quite a few years, decades in fact, when, as you indicate, he was on For My People. And Sam, at that point, he was a young man, okay? And he was loud back then, working with State Senator Basil Brown. So that Sam's aggressiveness isn't new. The problem is what works for a young man doesn't work for an old man. Mm-hmm. Sam is now 63. And I'm past that, and I don't know, you may be either coming close.
I'm easing up on it.
You're easing up on it.
Right.
And the things you do at 30, even at 40, you don't do at 60 and 70. And Sam, what has happened to him is an example of making a mistake to think that you can be an old man and chase after young women. That's off the agenda. And fast cars, and hard liquor, and hard drugs. Mm-hmm. That should be off the agenda, especially when, like Sam, you have a medical problem, plus a couple legal problems. So that we have to look at that and attempt in our own way to understand what is going on and what happens to hundreds, if not thousands, of black men when they pass 60, if they're lucky and get past 65.
And you know, Dave, you know that we deal with police misconduct, and roughly 80% of the runs that Detroit police and others receive are related to domestic situations, domestic violence, domestic situations, pretty much like this. Pretty typical. And the only difference is, obviously, as we say, Sam Riddle is higher profile, Mary Waters is higher profile. And I can't help but wonder, as we talk about this, about the young woman who was involved in this. What happens to her? What is the community response to it?
You know, I think we should look, as you say, at her as well. They accuse her of having minuscule amounts of marijuana there. But you know, in this day and age, there's such a thing as medical marijuana. And Sam, in the stress that he's undergoing and his other medical problems, can certainly be classified, in my judgment, as someone who could benefit from medical marijuana. Because as you know, marijuana is designed to relieve stress, physical and emotional stress, as part of its process, physical process, chemical process on the body. So that to accuse the woman of a misdemeanor or whatever they're going to accuse her of in terms of being there with him for that, I think is overstating the case. It's just searching for a charge. But more than that, for her to be involved with as such an old man in somebody else, another woman's house, shows a clear lack of judgment on both of their parts. So that we're not taking either one of them off the hook, but we're saying, thankfully, that it avoided a violent and physical harm in that unfortunate circumstance, because as you've indicated, too often it ends up with death in the city of Detroit, which is totally uncalled for.
So, Dave, if we look at this, where do we go as on an interpersonal relations basis, family intervention situation? Because as you were saying, we were saying before the interview, that Sam had somewhere to go when he was released. He went home to his mother. And a lot of people that I find and that we deal with, they don't have anywhere to go when they get out, so they go right back into the same situation.
You know, when it was indicated that Sam went or was sent back to live with his mother, I think that is just a sign of the importance of family, of a family that still exists, somewhere to go somewhere to take you in when you're in need. And it was certainly gracious. And of course, I mean, few mothers would put your son out, won't let your son come back under the circumstances that he was involved in. But there's this feeling, value in the black community, is that when you get grown, you got to leave home. You got to get out. But here was a situation where a mother was receptive, at least, to letting her son come back home. And so that speaks to the value of family and the needs for family, even in difficult circumstances, to pull together.
Well, I would say, Dave, especially in difficult circumstances, because that's the only survival net that we really do have. We're seeing the deterioration of just about everything else but family.
And that deterioration is part of the problem in our community that can deal with the conflicts and the trauma in our community, to give it a rest for a moment. You see, when it seems to me that in going back to your mama's house, you won't act as foolish as you did before, right. And that a young woman would be less inclined to come in somebody's mama's house to act a fool on her own right. So that I think family has its definite values. It has its limitations, obviously, but it also has its values. And I think in terms of a community that has seen its family before we got off the boat, the system was destroying our families. It is still destroying them. So that it is important for us to point out the importance of family and relationship. And our communication that we're doing is to say, look, man, we still love you, and we wish the best for you in this trying circumstance.
But in relationship to that, act like an older man with the wisdom that time commands. So this has been another Project Bait News Analysis. I'm Ron Scott with David Rambeau. If you want to find out more about this or anything else you've seen, reach us on our website, projectbait.blackgold.net.
I'm Geraldine Watkins, the director of the Considine Little Rock Family Life Center, located at 8904 Woodward Avenue at the corner of Holbrook in Detroit. We offer swimming, basketball, as well as a full fitness center. We also have a beautiful hall available for rental of all occasions. For more information regarding programming and services, please contact us at 313-871-4673. Again, 313-871-4673.
There are 3 basic necessities every business needs: a business plan, a bookkeeper, and a website. Call Project Bait for all 3. Call 313-871-3333. That's 313-871-3333.
If you are in business, you should promote your business in the Metro Business Information Guide. For more information, contact Chris Woodard at 645-2282. That's 313-645-2282.
The preceding program was produced by Project Bait and does not reflect the views of this station.